From the Standing Stone Farm Studio right outside downtown Nashville, it's time for the most ridiculous sports podcast in the world. So sit back, relax, and listen as Bobby Butler and Brandon Bond crack open a cold one and talk all things hockey, pop culture, and complain about everyday situations. It's the Pucks Out Podcast on the Penalty Box Radio Network.
Welcome into the most ridiculous podcast in sports and pop culture. I'm Bobby. He's Brandon.
Hello.
You can find us on the three majors of social media at Pucks Out Pod. Now let's crack open a cold Mayday beer and let's get after it. Pucks Out is powered by Mayday Brewery, the official beer of Pucks Out Podcast. Check them out every Tuesday for Singo and Thursday for Bingo, where you're guaranteed to make some friends. We've got a lot of stuff to cover today. How are you this week, bud?
I am doing pretty good, my man. I'm doing well. Got to see Messi since the last time we have chatted via podcast. So obviously that's sick. Messi goal, Suarez goal, even though it was tie game. Obviously pretty awesome to be able to have seen that here in Nashville. Just chilling, hanging out, man. Just getting ready for March Madness. That's coming up.
Oh, yeah.
How you doing, bro?
Good, man. I went to the round one of the state tournament for basketball today. The Laverne was in it. First time in school history they're making the state tournament. So, the fans showed up, a bunch of the teachers. It was a packed house. Independence did not travel well. We did, but unfortunately, Independence got the better of us on the court. But hey, our boys left it out there and they had a good showing and it made us proud. So kudos to them and congratulations to Independence for moving on.
Now that we have the Laverne High School correspondent out of here, how are you doing personally, Bobby?
I'm doing great. Yeah, no, I'm doing great.
Getting ready, geared up, dude. We are, we through our first few years through this, first 3 years really. Solid, dude. I don't think we missed more than 4 or 5 weeks. Conflicting schedules at this time. New job for you, school for you, new stuff for me going on. We missing a little. Summer hits, bro. We're bankrolling them, dude. I've already been thinking about all these shows that we can do. That's like, oh, we got stuff we got to do this week. No worries. We have the draft per decade, like where you have 5 starting spots on a basketball team and you draft 5 decades worth, 80s, 90s, 2000s, nice. 2010s, and then you can do 2020s. I guess we only have a smaller subset, something like that, but you can only pick one position per decade.
So
you know what I'm saying?
Question, what if you have someone who's in both decades? Like you could take LeBron for the 2000s and the 20s and like the
you're taking 2020s. You can only select the player once, but the player you select, like you could select Vince Carter in 4 different levels, but he can only be selected once, and whatever era you get him is the era.
So I can't have 2 LeBrons.
Right. Like if you picked like 2000s Jordan, like you're getting 2000s Jordan. You think you're going to game the system by getting to go 90s somewhere else and then getting Jordan here. No, that doesn't, you get the Jordan you drafted here.
All right.
So I've got, I've been brewing a whole lot of those ideas. So, maybe one weekend we get together at the pool, we sit down like old school, face to face. We throw down a little quick sode. We hang out, we drink a little bit, and then afterward, we don't have to stop, Bob. We can go right back to it.
Yeah.
When has drinking ever stopped us from putting out content? So looking forward to this summer, bro.
Yeah. Especially those 3 weeks in May when I don't have any football practice either. So I'm sure my summer break is really only 3 weeks, which is the first 3 weeks of May. And then I got 2 weeks in June last week of June, first week of July for dead period. Other than that, so I'm excited for those 3 weeks of June. But all right, let's jump into some of the news.
Everything you need to know about what's happening on the ice. It's time for news from inside the boards.
The trade deadline is now over, and there was a good bit of trades done there at the buzzer. Let's
Very
just do a
low
quick
key
recap.
though to me. Nothing crazy. Any that stood out to you? Obviously, there's not a ton big enough to even.
The Preds
have
made some big ones. They got
discussion.
the Preds got Jason Zucker.
Yeah, for sure. Great moves for I did like the Zucker trade.
Yeah, the Preds went on a little bit of a win streak and putting themselves, into position to possibly get that third spot and put themselves out of a wild card and into an actual playoff spot.
Yeah, they're a bit of ways. They're about 9 points behind the Avalanche.
Yeah.
So
at one point, I think during that stretch, they got close to. I think they got 4 points away, but then Avs picked it up. But yeah, so they've fallen back a little bit. But
yeah, a few weeks ago, something I liked was Winberg to the Rangers from the Kraken. That happened a little while ago, but I think after we had recorded last. But I think it was a very clear winner, and I don't know if you necessarily agree. I think that that Vegas wins, right? Vegas seemed like bringing in Hurdle seems to be the biggest move, and Mark Stone being on long-term IR. He's going to be, I mean, let's hope for a miraculous recovery come playoff time, a la Nikita Kucherov, because that's going to be a dangerous team going for back-to-backs.
Yeah.
I agree. I like the Zucker trade. Toffoli to the Jets. I like that. I like that a good bit. Toffoli, it's always hit or miss, but hopefully he is able to
Matt
bolster
Dumba
them.
to the Lightning was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one for the Lightning. These are all teams that are obviously contending. Otherwise they wouldn't be making moves. They would be selling. Maroon to the Bruins from the Wild. Couple of some goalie pieces that are going to be helpful long term. The Devils bringing in Jake Allen. Subban traded to the Blue Jackets. Not anything, not like a team that's going for it big, but getting some goalie depth there. Yeah, man, It's a very lackluster. Obviously, lots of teams got better. Lots of teams did a lot to bolster what they had, but it wasn't as star-studded as we traditionally have come to be used to. So, like I said, man, I'm kind of looking through the list of trades here. Yes, we've obviously missed a very big one. We missed the Jake Gunsel to Carolina. So that's probably I totally spaced over it because it's a big trade here. That's a really good get for Carolina. He's coming off of an injury. If he can continue, and I need him to, man. We got fantasy playoffs, not this week, Bob, not next week, but we could move into fantasy hockey playoffs that following week, bro. And I've got him a couple of places, and so hopefully it doesn't take him too long to acclimate. So I think that I still think that the Golden Knights bolstered what they've already have, but I think it's a very close who won between the Hurricanes and the Golden Knights. Do you have a thought? I mean, Gunsel is definitely the biggest star.
I think
Tomas
Vegas
Hertl
wins.
is great as well.
I think Hurdle for Vegas is a real amazing pickup for a team that
right, bolstering a team that's kind of already been there, right? Team that's not worried about their regular season and being at the top. They're sitting at the second wild card right now. They're talking about, I'm just trying to be in, bro. All I need, just give me a shot. Just hey, I'll be the 6th seed. They're talking. They're just ready to get back to where they feel like they belong. So yeah, man, lots of just speaking of the Preds, Jason Zucker was good. I don't know if you mentioned Anthony Beauvillier. I
forgot about that.
Great.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I mean, not a superstar, but not a good piece for a team that is trying to compete. We've seen We've seen worse, teams make a little run in the playoffs. So
Yeah, I got to be honest. This team, as they're playing right now, this team doesn't strike me as a first round elimination team. They strike me as a solid second round elimination team right now.
yeah. I mean, second round for sure. It'll depend on the draw, no question. But I'm very intrigued to see what they can do. It's we're like this every year. As long as we get to the playoffs, we're back in. But the rebuild, we'll kind of see what this is a new regime, so we want them to do well, and so we can kind of see what's going on.
Let's move into outside the boards.
Now that you know what's happening inside the boards, time for the rest of the headlines with news from outside the boards.
The NFL signings went crazy this weekend. We're not going to get too into it. Next week, we're going to actually do a deep dive into it, but we're going to talk about the ones that maybe caught our eye the most. And obviously, I think we both know which one was the biggest one of the weekend, and that is the King going to Baltimore.
Oh, the King Henry going to Baltimore. That's a pretty big one. There were so many big, huge moves that it was hard to pinpoint. But obviously, local King Henry going to Baltimore. Titans have signed Tony Pollard. Not so sure I like that so much, especially when Zach Moss just went for $4 million cheaper than he did. And then we signed Calvin Ridley today, which is not necessarily the best move in my mind, but it does assure me of one thing. Hopefully they're going with an offensive lineman with their first round pick, dude. You can always tell a real football fan from a guy that just likes to watch football, and that's okay. No worry. But you can always tell when it comes draft time. If you ask a Titans fan who they think they should draft at 7 there, and they say a skill position player, that person doesn't understand. Like, dude, no. As much as fun as it would be to grab Malik Neighbors there, or Roma Dunze, or whoever's there and available, Brock Bowers. Dude, it doesn't mean anything if your quarterback doesn't have time and can't pass the ball to those players. They will die. Great players on our roster. You have to build with need. So I hope they go lineman with their pick now. Your boys made a little bit of a splash. Not a great splash. A little Austin Eckler. Bringing an old Eckler. I think you guys made a quarterback signing of some kind as well.
Yeah, I have. Now I'm drawing a blank.
Well, that's okay. We'll talk about it next week. No big deal. I do want to highlight that there is one big loser, and I think that has to be Justin Jefferson and the whole Vikings receiving crew. Bringing in Sam Darnold just seems like a not great call to me. But we'll talk more about those next week. I don't want to get too in depth because I can keep going and going.
I didn't see this. I did not see this quarterback signing for the Commanders until right now. Oh, I don't like that at all.
Brissett?
That's bad. Mariota.
Oh, I mean, he's just coming in to be the backup to whatever quarterback, Drake May or Jaden Daniels, whoever you take. So
that's okay. Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, it's just a.
Yeah, but we did just 42 minutes ago. They signed Bobby Wagner. I like that.
Oh, Bobby Wagner. He's on my dynasty team. So he's on my my Ministry of Defense dynasty team.
Now,
so we'll both be rooting for him.
One thing you do gotta like with Tennessee is the consistency to just be the place where aging receivers go to just.
I know. We just killed another. I mean, Calvin Ridley was just on his first This is only his second contract. He came out a little later, so he's a young 29. But he's dead now.
Yeah,
we've killed him. But he could have gone somewhere and played at least for a year or two.
Yeah, his rookie year was 2018. But if you had asked me, was Calvin Ridley playing in 2012? It feels like yes.
Yes.
It feels like Calvin Ridley has been in this league for a long time.
Yeah, it was not that long. I mean, I've had him for a while in Dynasty, and so I've been on the ride, I don't really know how I feel about it as a dynasty rosterer of Mr. Rid. So
great,
we'll
Bob.
just have to see. We'll just have to see. Maybe he's on the block. Maybe he's on the block.
Yeah. March Madness is upon us, and that of course means conference tournaments. The SEC tournament is happening. I was watching a little bit of the ACC tournament last night. We went out to a brewery last night, and they had the ACC tournament on the big screen. Yeah, so I think I don't know what the current position. I don't know what the current bracket is right now.
I've given it to you right there, but playing games.
Okay, so today was the first day.
Are today? Yeah, we got playing games today. Vanderbilt and Arkansas, Missouri and South Carolina. Then second round will be Mississippi State, LSU, and South Carolina will play whoever Vanderbilt and Arkansas, whoever wins that game. Florida will play the Missouri, South Carolina. Missouri,
Georgia.
Sorry,
Missouri,
I'm
Georgia.
totally missing that.
I thought I was reading something off. I was like, I don't know where he is.
No,
I'm not there.
I just was messing it up. And then your 1, 2, 3, and 4 seeds are as follows: Tennessee, Kentucky, Alabama, and Auburn in the 4 seed. So they won't play until the quarterfinals. So we'll see. You got a prediction here.
Yeah.
Tennessee has been looking strong, dude.
They have been, but Tennessee. No, I think Tennessee, they picked a wrong time to go on a little bit of a cold streak. They got up. Both the men and the women's basketball recently had a big upset, I believe, by Kentucky. And the women, I want to say by South Carolina.
Yeah, and it's hard to say that it's an upset from getting beat by the undefeated team, but it was a last-second buzzer beater to remain undefeated. We'll see. I mean, they're pretty strong, so I'm gonna go. I'm going to go with Florida. I'm just going off the wall here. No real rhyme or reason to it. SEC tournament's always open to anybody, so going with Florida.
I'm going to, let's see. I don't think Tennessee's going to win it. I think it's too easy to say Tennessee. I don't like Kentucky. Hell, I definitely ain't going with Alabama. That leaves me with really the only team I think that I think is a good enough team to win it, and I think they'll get hot at the right spot. And I think they can beat South Carolina as well, because I think that's who they will face off against more than likely, and that's Auburn.
Okay, I like it. War Eagle. We didn't do a fit check. I think we skipped past that, but I got my War Damn Sports shirt on. So, and then also I cover all my bases. So I also have my Purdue Boilermakers hat. So that way I have a shirt on for a team that probably not going to go far, and then also a hat for a team that's going to go out in the first round.
Well, speaking of out in the first round, I'm wearing my Laverne State shirt. So
there you go, dude. There you go.
So, Florida and Auburn are the predictions for the SEC tournament. I don't know. Are they in a position to play each other in the?
They.
Can I be honest with you? They are not. No, they.
I mean, not until.
No, wait. Yes, they are. They can play in the championship. Yeah, that's what I meant. Are they in a position to? Yeah. I didn't know if they were in that
logic, Bobby. Under that logic, Bobby, anybody can play anybody in a tournament.
Question was,
if anybody wins. They're not in the same. They're not in the same lane of the bracket.
Yeah. My question was, are they in a position to only play
each other in the champion? I get you now. I thought you was like, could they play each other? Like, yes, dude. Like, do you know how tournaments work? Like, if they appropriately win the amount of games that they need to win, and then the last remaining people in that tournament, eventually it forces them to play each other. No, I get what you're saying.
Best case scenario, we see Florida Auburn too, which is a weird thing to hear me say, but
say what? Say what?
To hear that for me to say Florida in the championship, but for us, that's the best.
Hey, I'm hoping that you're right. That's a weird thing for me to say, Bob. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's Florida Auburn, like I'm really okay with me just throwing out Florida randomly to say that, hey, they're going to win the SEC tournament. Yeah, I think I would prefer my team to win. But if Florida does beat Auburn, I will also be like, well, I did call it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't help that I'm so smart, bro. Like,
Yeah, as you're crying. But all right, so let's see. SEC tournament check. You saw Messi the other night.
Yes, I
You
saw
wanna talk
Messi,
about
and I
that?
was going to
Anyone you
say
wanna talk
they
about?
play again tonight as of recording against Inter Miami again. In the
Nashville.
second leg.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, they play in the
Nice.
second leg of this. It's a tournament. That's why it ended in a tie.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a. So
Okay.
play again
Is it
tonight.
at the,
We'll
is
talk
it,
next week.
is it
Hopefully
at-
they've won.
Is this one in Miami?
Yes.
Or is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, I had them play
all
it in my backyard. That's why I'm recording right here, bro.
Yep. Yep. You're watching them right out your window. I didn't know if it was on a neutral site or something.
No, I got you.
Yeah.
Just
But, all
messing
right,
with
so
you,
main
dog.
topic.
You're so sensitive since you're a teacher now, dude.
Main topic of the day. Hey, don't make me call Dean in here to take care of you, all right?
Hey, don't make me say things to you that your students can't because you don't actually have any power over me. Although I guess I give you a recording of my voice for about an hour long every single week. So maybe I should chill out.
Yeah. I text Stephanie. Stephanie just comes in, it's like, hey, cut it out. You're like, oh wow.
Get out of here. This is the captain's quarters.
But all right, it is time for our main topic, which is the mid-season awards. If you're a long-time listener, you know that in the preseason we always do a prediction of our awards. When we revisit it in the middle of the season, we're a little bit late on the middle of the season. Usually we like to do it on an all-star weekend, but we've been busy. Get over it. So we're doing it now.
Get a much better chance of being right the second time, dude.
Yeah.
Do
you want to give people a quick rundown of how it works?
Yes, of course. All right, so we make our pick if at the beginning of the season and the pick is worth 2 points. Okay? If you decide mid-season picks or whenever we make our picks again that you want to change, that's fine. And you can have two options to win, but then either of those points are only worth 1. Okay? We also do one pick that cannot be changed at the beginning of the season, and it's called our triple down. And so the only time those can be picked if the person is injured at the time of picking, and we decide you're good to bow out of that. Both of ours include McDavid. So the triple down will be worth all 6 points, which is a big factor here. So we really try to play at that triple down to try to beat each other. So we're going to go through and we're going to ask what you picked for the first time, Bob, or if you just want to go through and name what you picked for the first time and then what you are changing or if you will be staying.
Yeah. All right. So I'll do all mine real quick. So the cup, I've got the Colorado Avalanche. Now I'm staying on that. And
so again, a reminder to everybody, he is staying on the Avs. And so his Avs pick will remain at 2 points. If he were to have picked another team, even if the Avs won at that point, it would only have been worth 1. So he's going with the riskier option to get the 2 points by staying with the Avs. I felt it was easier to explain when it happened, Bob. So sorry to cut you off, buddy.
Now, I know they're not top of the league right now, but the thing is with the Stanley Cup Finals,
I love
it's a crapshoot.
No,
and
right.
I feel like I still have just as much of a chance, and it's just 100%. Better to stick with my gut pick. Now, obviously, if I'd been like wild and chose, someone like the Minnesota Wild, then I'd be changing right now.
Sure. As a team that, hey, I don't feel that this team is still that team that could win it or whatever. I picked Vegas. And I'm going to stay with Vegas as well. They're lower in the standings than Colorado is. I love the staying on the cup pick. The cup really is that one that, hey, don't shift on that if your team has still got that option. So love staying there. President's Cup, we don't have to really change up too hard on that because we both did the exact same thing. Started the year with the Oilers, and if they played after how they started playing about 20 games in the season, maybe that would have been a little more realistic. But we've both switched to the Panthers. I think that that's not a clear-cut winner for sure, but I think it's the odds-on favorite based on how they've been playing in the remaining schedule. Boston and Vancouver are both up there. So, it's definitely not a lock in, but I like the changeover for both of us. What do
Yeah.
we have on the
For
heart, sir?
The heart, I have Connor McDavid, and I am staying. That was my triple down.
Triple down. Okay, yeah. That's a tough one. I also had Connor McDavid at the beginning of the season. Didn't triple down on it. I'm switching it, but this is not a sure switch. There's still 2 or 3 guys. I was shuffling between Austin Matthews, Nikita Kucherov, but I landed on Nathan MacKinnon. He is absolutely dominating right now, 113 points. I'm going to switch. I'm going to take the risk. McDavid is still right there. I think he's 4th or 5th in the odds. So you definitely still have a chance. I'm worried that he could very easily go and score 10 points in 3 games, and all of a sudden my boy's back in it. So I'm going to switch to Nathan MacKinnon, give myself a little bit better odds, and really just hope that you lose on your triple down.
Yeah, 100%. Next up, we've got the Calder, and I had Connor Bedard, and I am staying put where I am.
Tried to be funny. Tried to be a funny guy, Bobby. Tried to be a funny guy. Devon Levi thought, hey, maybe this is my guy's year. Maybe he could do it. No, I'm gonna go ahead and make my 1 point pick for Connor Bedard, and I'm just gonna take that one on the chin, dude. Easy money. He's got 66 points right now, even after a month off of the season. Kid is phenomenal. Hot mom too. I also want to say that. So I'm gonna switch over to him.
Yeah.
And go with Connor Bedard. Very congratulations to you on getting those 2 points, those easy 2 points that I could have just stolen right along with you. But I gotta be funny, gotta be a funny guy, gotta have the funny take, don't I?
Well, it's okay because I kind of had one of those picks later on as well. For the Vezina, I had Vasilevsky, and I mean, I'm going to take this one on the chin. I was wrong. Connor Hellebuyck has just been lights out as he is the odds-on favorite. He's just been killing it this year.
Easy money. I went with Shesterkin, and I very easily switched to Hellebuyck as well. You know, some of these, if they're very close, you know, maybe I'll go with another guy. I'm not. It's very not close right now. So Hellebuyck is definitely the one that, and don't act like I took it on the chin here for picking Vasilevsky as a guy that could win the Vezina. I didn't pick Bedard to win the Calder, my dude. So that's, that's what I did.
I'm just trying to make you feel a little bit better. Right?
That's a real friend for trying to be like, these 2 things are the same, and they're not the same thing at all. Norris, we both had Makar, and we've both switched to. This is the kind of the danger of playing it a little later in the year, where there's a clearer cut, and it's not as much of a guessy guess. But we both switched from Cale Makar to Quinn Hughes. Cale Makar is not completely out of the running, but Quinn Hughes is playing lights out hockey right now, so it was a very easy switch for me.
Yeah. Next up, we've got the Art Ross. David, and I'm staying put.
You're staying put. I am very intrigued by that because this is one that I would also try to game me, because this is my triple down at McDavid. No, it's absolutely possible, but that's assuming that Nathan MacKinnon and Nikita Kucherov both slow down. And I believe who else is up there? There is who else is up there, Bobby? And,
I do want to say real quick that obviously I'm sticking with it because it's on the prompter. I meant to change it, but I didn't
change it
because I've already said it.
This is a living document. It's a living document. I'm good with you. I'm good with you changing it because I mean the thing is, if it's a win-win. It's not a win-win for me. You get a point if you're right, but you also may not be right if you switch and you get 0 points.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you're right and you don't switch, then you get 2 and I get 6. So that's your game. I don't want to make it like I'm trying to trick you one way or the other.
Yeah.
But I
definitely meant to change
with
it.
you switching it if you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good with staying.
As long as you're cool with it. Well. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and change it to MacKinnon only because it is so close to the end. And the thing is, it's not like this is a sure thing. I mean,
100%. Like, and you still get your 1 point, so it's not like you get nothing.
Yeah.
The Selke. We have. I am gonna stick with my very easy answer of Barkov. This is one. This is one, Bob, that it's
This was
not
my
as
funny one.
egregious as mine, but it's more egregious than your Vassie pick, I would say.
Well, yeah. Well, when I said I had one later that was funny, this was it.
Okay.
This was
okay, good.
One
I was just hoping you weren't talking about your Vassie. Yeah.
No,
sure.
Yeah. I tried to say Nico Hischier. I was thinking outside the box a little bit, thinking New Jersey was going to have a great year.
We didn't hate it at the time. I mean, I hated it. Barkov was the answer. I think Barkov. It's going to be Barkov for a few years, so I'm going to stick with that and hopefully get my 2 points there. This next one's always such a hard one to go with.
Oh yeah. And one of the reasons why I also did Nico Hischier is because, like, sometimes with these things, we pick the same thing a lot,
sure.
and so sometimes it's one of our detriments. To try to
if
change
we're being honest, being different is, that is a little bit of why I picked my Calder cut. You know what I'm saying? Like this, I just went with the non-obvious one. There is a little bit of trying to be different, gotta be, there's gaming in it, but there's some you gotta go with, and you gotta pick the right.
Because we're also entertainment podcast.
Right, exactly. They want to hear our bad takes more than our good takes, I think. Because we're not here to actually we don't ever claim to be authorities on anything. You know what I'm saying? People like to listen to us and be like, dude, you imagine if we were this dumb, dude.
Yeah.
If we were this
Somebody's
dumb,
listening right now like, someone's like, they have good takes?
They have, like, whoa. Is this like a super secret cut? That's the Patreon right there, dude.
Yeah.
That's how we suck you in. They're like, dude, I don't even believe it. So go ahead and these, I don't think we had bad takes. I think we just needed to very clearly pivot. Again, this is the danger of doing it so much later in the year that they become clear cut favorites.
Yeah. So the Jack Adams, I originally had Lindy Ruff from New Jersey. I've got Tocchet now. I think that he is
easy.
Pretty much a sure thing.
I had Jay Woodcroft from the Oilers, and I've moved to Tocchet as well. There is still that, hey, we're here to entertain, right, Bob? But also, even in an entertaining fashion of something so stupid as this, I can't fathom not trying to beat you. So there's some that I'm just, we're just going to take the same because we want the points.
Yeah. Speaking of beating me, I think the Rocket Richard is honestly what's going to do me in. I think that at the end of the day, I think that you have so many more sure things that I would need a lot to happen for me to win. But you had Austin Matthews to begin the season, and I had McDavid. Austin Matthews is clearly, going to.
Yeah, that is the good thing I have going. I mean, Austin Matthews has a couple of guys in striking distance of him, about 9 goals away is Sam Reinhart. But the good thing is McDavid is not in that striking distance. So even if I lose, you don't win, which is good with me. So. That was, I mean, that's any given year, just the right things fall, the right things happen, which is why for the GM of the year, Kyle Dubas from the Pittsburgh Penguins, I'm going to leave it because I just feel like I don't have any idea ever about this award. And so what the criteria is. So I'm just going to hope for 2.
Yeah. Now I am changing it. And I've been lucky enough to get this one correct the past 2 years in a row. So I feel like I kind of have my thumb on the heartbeat of the league when it comes to GM of the year. I'm somewhat of a savant with that, you could say. And I'm going to go, I originally had Ken Holland. I think I was a little bit off to begin with. I'm going to go Patrick Alvin with Vancouver. I think Vancouver's made a lot of changes. They are doing very exceptionally well this year. And I think that it's a organization that doesn't always get a lot of love. And I think this is an easy way for the league to give them that love for such a increase in performance from one year to the next.
Okay. Don't hate it. Don't hate it at all. We'll see. That one is, and you know what I found out? That the GM of the year, which is such a stupid thing, the GM of the year is not voted on until after the second round of the playoffs, Bobby, meaning you kind of already know what's going to happen. And so, which makes my Kyle Dubas pick stupider to leave it, but I don't care. I don't care. You think I care? No, I don't care. They'll give it to look, it's Pittsburgh. That's a darling right there.
Yeah. But all right, let's move into our games of the week.
Games of the week. Bobby and Brandon do the work, so you don't have to. The best from around the NHL and what to watch.
All right, it's time for games of the week, and yet again, Brandon is refusing to stay down for the count. He had a 3-0 week. He is becoming a little bit of a thorn in my side. I just can't put him out of his misery.
You know what I'm
He's
saying?
much like Rocky in the first Rocky. But we all know how that turned out for Rocky at the end.
Damn it! I was like, that was so cool. And then I was like, oh yeah, did he lose? I remember, when like live tweeting and like live texting something was like a thing. I was like at a brewery and they were showing Rocky, and I was like live texting Rocky to somebody, just like funny, like, oh my God, like this happened. He just said Adrian or whatever, and then I was like, at the end, I was like, well, Rocky just lost or whatever, and then the person was like, what? Like they didn't know that Rocky loses, and that's and so that was a surprise to them. It was a shock. It was almost as funny as the shocking twist to Stephanie, who's again seen all of the movies, finding out that Anakin was indeed Darth Vader years after knowing that he is that Darth Vader was Luke's father. That was never in question. So that one was pretty good as well. So I have to give my hats off to that
one. Yeah. But all right. So you've got the first game of the week. Currently the games are I am at 24-16 and Bob is 20-20.
Yeah. Just right here.
So why don't you start us off?
On Friday, I have the Ducks playing the Jets. That's the 15th at 7 p.m. I am gonna go. I'm sorry, Bob. I'm sorry, man. I'm making a little push here right now. Obviously, I'm gonna do it to you. I'm gonna go with the Jets. I think that the Jets might win this game.
Well, that's okay. I also am making a push. Because I've got the Kings going against the only team to so far be eliminated from playoff contention in the Blackhawks.
See what you're doing here.
And I've got the Kings winning it.
Going with the Kings, okay.
Why don't you take us into your second game,
folks? You're gonna start seeing a whole lot more Blue Jackets games.
Well, you might see one in about less than a minute.
All right. Well, because I am who I am. I'm gonna pull a good game out of the woodwork here. I'm gonna go with the Lightning Panthers. Saturday at 5 p.m. I am gonna go with the odds though, and go with the Panthers here, as they are currently leading in the President's Cup. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pick that. And I know that that's not gonna work out for me. I know that now that I've picked the Panthers, that I have sent that out into the universe, the Lightning will be winning that game. So I'm going to be putting some money on the Lightning.
Yeah. My second game, I listen, I have to put a good game in there. So I put Carolina at Toronto, two big dogs in the league. But I'm going to take Carolina to win this on the road.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. I think I probably would have gone with Toronto, but I don't dislike that Carolina pick. Running on a little bit of a high right now after a big trade. Matthews has slowed down a bit on goal scoring, not a ton, but a little bit. So yeah, I don't hate that pick. I am going on with a Carolina Senators game on the 17th, a back-to-back for Carolina. I'm actually thinking that Toronto wins that first and Carolina comes on that back-to-back with the Senators and wins that game.
Could very much happen. So I've got a matchup of two Goliaths in the league. It's going to be an absolute fight for who is the better team, and that's Winnipeg going into Columbus. It's a toughie. It's a toughie. It's a toughie, but I'm gonna take Winnipeg.
Jets and Canes making two appearances here.
Yeah. So I've got Winnipeg over Columbus.
Okay.
So I've got all road teams winning.
All right. So I need another week for you. I need at least a 1-2 week from you, and I need at least a 2-1 week from me. I would feel more comfortable with that. closing the gap a little bit. If you could, though, an 0-3 week from you would be perfect for me. That would be chef's
It would be
kiss,
great
so.
for me if you had one too. But hey, I'm just
Well, hey, bro,
just
chill out, dude. You don't have to pick on the guy that's just barely pushing 500 right now, man. God, dude, kick a guy.
You're not barely pushing 500. You are pushing.
Kick
500.
kick a guy when he's even, bro. What are you doing? What are you doing?
But all right. So next up, let's move into our joke of the week.
The weird. Corey Perry. Yeah, I don't like that. Wild. I think the first read was a good one. Now I'm overthinking it. Outlandish.
Each sixth chick sat on a stick. Little tongue twister.
And downright dumb.
Kidding me.
It's time for the joke of the week.
There are sometimes you read something, a headline, you're just like, do I have the mental energy to like actually deal with this right now? But if you pick this one, so tell us about it.
Yes. And honestly, I'm going to tell you, the first I heard of the news is a very interesting source of me at least having to research and try to figure out what was going on. In our Blood, Sweat, and Beers Dynasty League on Sleeper, you can update players' nicknames, and I get an update that Jackson has updated, my brother, player in the league, has updated a nickname for a player. And I go in to check it, and it is for Aaron Rodgers, and it is Kamala Rogers, which was like weird, right? I mean, I got it. I don't know many Kamalas or whatever. So I'm like looking this up, and I'm like, oh my God, dude. So Robert F. Kennedy Jr. hints Jets Aaron Rodgers could be his 2024 running mate for U.S. presidential bid. Now, my question is, let's forget the merit of it at all, Bobby. That whole headline right there, don't have to read into it. Jesse Ventura is the other running candidate. At least he was a politician, you know. My question, let's forget the politics of it at all, Bobby. What is the logistics of a sitting U.S. vice president that's got a game on Sunday? What? You got to be at the Senate on Tuesday, but you got a game on Monday night, dude. What? Listen, how would it work?
There is a legal precedent for this. It's very clear.
Is it?
It's the Air Bud rules. It's the Air Bud rules.
Air
Nowhere
Bud
in the law
rules.
does it say that a quarterback can't be vice president.
That's absolutely true. That's more of, I'm not even worried about legality of it, Bobby. I'm asking you logistically. How would we make it work, dude?
Oh, he would go play. What about it?
I mean, this is America, so we know football will take precedence.
Yeah.
So like,
he'll go play. Like
you're
acting like there's going to be any conflict here.
He'll play. He goes into voluntary mini camp. You know, July.
All of his linemen. All of his linemen are swapped.
Obviously, if he, as soon as he's out of the playoffs, he doesn't get no Pro Bowl, dude. No Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Right. Now, you know what I'm saying? No, get back to running the country.
Yeah, okay? It's very clear.
Like playoffs, like you're good, dude. And no bye weeks. No, I disagree with that. Bye weeks, he's in office, dude. He's working.
Playoffs? You kidding me?
Obviously, he's not vice presidenting during the playoffs. I understand this, everybody. Yeah. But like I'm saying, during a bye week, you ain't no bye week for vice presidents. You know what I'm saying? You're no longer an NFL football player during bye week. You are vice president of the United States of America. Now, second question I have, Bobby. You obviously, as vice president, don't get as many Secret Service agents.
He'll have 5 on the line.
Oh, he'll have some. But my question is, do legally they have to be on the field with my dude?
Yes.
Do they have to be? I mean, let's say, look, if I'm trying to assassinate a vice president, you know what I'm doing, Bobby? I'm working out. I'm getting strong. I'm making an NFL roster, dude. I'm putting a knife in my pants, dude. And then boom, sack the quarterback. Can't. So like, I'm thinking safety wise and like for our nation, there's no question that a Secret Service member also has to become an NFL player because we can't have extra people out there.
Yeah.
There's 11 guys on the field. One of them just happens to be a Secret Service. So, like, the thing is, Jets planted man down essentially now. But
I
personal
am so
quarterback
excited
blocker.
I'm so excited to add that to the Superflex on Sleeper.
Can we? I'm gonna actually. Hold on one sec.
You know what's going to be horrible though is when Joey Bosa has to get shot for rushing the vice president of the United States.
That's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I'm saying. And legally, like, what are you gonna do, dude? He was trying to take down the Veep. Okay, like, oh my god, yeah. Like, I'm so bad at my job. I'm just gonna let him take down the Veep. Like, no, dude. Like, the thing is, if you're a Secret Service agent protecting the Veep, you're low, dude. You're low. You're trying to build. You're trying to build your rep. And so, like, shooting Max Crosby in the face, no quicker way to build your rep.
Yeah. So I will say that this sounds like an entire piece of a script from Veep.
You know, we neither of us had our What Snaps My Stick. So look at my What Snaps Your Stick. Hit the buzzer. We'll move right into it because we can just continue this conversation and then not have to talk about it again. Because I got so many questions, dude.
Bobby and Brandon are about to find out exactly what snaps their sticks.
But does it not? So just to continue this conversation, does this not sound like something that Dan Egan would come into a room telling Julie Louis-Dreyfus is happening? That
this is a script, dude. Vice President quarterback movie hasn't been made. Is our What Snaps Our Stick. Now let me hit you with this, Bobby. I'm just in the middle of me think because being the vice president, I mean, let's be real. He would be fine, dude. It would be zero problem for him to be an NFL quarterback and also the vice president. Vice president's job, a little bit of a joke most of the time, dude. Except for sometimes when they have to save democracy or whatever, dude. But other than those times, we'll make sure he's there for those moments. But we're mid-season, dude. The Jets or whatever, it'll be it'll not be
Robert
Aaron
Kennedy
Rodgers.
has a heart attack.
He's at the game. He hasn't been able, it's stressful being a president, but he's finally got a week. He's able to come to his vice president's game. He's in the suite as they have the camera on him on national television, on the big Jumbotron, heart attack. He dies. Immediately, there's protocols for this. Secret Service comes in. They take the quarterback away because he has to be sworn in to be president. He's now the president of the United States of America.
Yeah.
Have to play with the backup, starts a little losing streak. The teammates are mad at him now because his new job as president is taking more time. He's still playing football. He's still showing up, but he's late to practice a little bit more. He's not taking his job as seriously. He's having to read intelligence briefings. He's not running up on the playbook. The more I talk about it, Bobby, this is a script, dude.
Yeah.
This is a movie that needs to be made. It will be a South Park style satirical movie, not animated, but satirical.
No. I don't think so. I think this can be a super, super dramatic. Matthew McConaughey as the quarterback. It's It's a drama. It is a drama about the everyday man who's an NFL quarterback.
Gonna win con is what you're saying, dude. We're going indie film. Nobody is actually gonna like the movie, but like we're gonna win awards for it.
Yeah. I'm telling you right now, Al Pacino plays Robert Kennedy.
Now,
Matthew McConaughey.
The thing is, we don't want to ruin this idea.
Oscar.
Why not you direct our super serious drama while simultaneously using the same actors budget-wise? We'll have them play different roles. I will, because that's a lot of what you could do is like you've picked actors for such serious roles, but all I have to do is whoopsie daisy flip them around, dude. And then we've got a comedy on our hands, dude. We make two movies simultaneously. We submit them. I mean, we're both we're making money off both these, dude. You're submitting yours to Con. I'm putting mine on YouTube, dude. We're freaking double famous. And then all of a sudden, when it's like we say a director debut and everybody's here to meet us, we have a clashing of worlds where like super ritzy, like film folk are there to see you. I've created chaos. A bunch of TikTok kids are there. Then we incite a riot. That's a double movie. That's 2 movies in one, Bobby.
So, I actually do have a snaps my stick.
Okay.
So, are we good to move on from?
I'm
this
good.
craziness?
I'm good. I gotta I gotta learn how to write scripts, but I'm good.
You may not have seen this, but Jake Paul or Logan, I don't know, one of them is Jake Paul is scheduled to fight Mike Tyson.
Yes. Thank you.
And that is a joke of the week that we can talk about. What snaps my stick is the absolute disrespect that people are putting on Mike Tyson's name. They're saying he's old. They're saying he's washed up. This man is the greatest heavyweight fighter of all time. Yes. He is the greatest puncher in the history of the world. He still trains a lot.
If he loses, we know it's fake. There is
immediately.
Some people don't realize, dude, like how absolutely like there were so many people that like eventually stopped buying pay-per-view Tyson fights.
Yeah,
because why am I paying $150 for 3 seconds, dude? Because that's where
in my opinion,
he'd gank him, dude. Just
yeah. Like,
yes, that's
I understand that people say that Muhammad Ali is the greatest fighter of all time, and I think this is not as cut and dry. But like, in my opinion, at his peak,
for sure,
different eras. At his peak, in my opinion, Mike Tyson is the greatest boxer to ever.
And that's not a crazy debate. Muhammad Ali, it's a lot to do with a lot of other stuff. He brought so much into the world of boxing, but no, I'm hands down, and especially for getting greatest boxer ever. You can't tell me that it's not Tyson doesn't have a harder punch. That's like saying LeBron's not taller. Okay. Like, LeBron's taller than Jordan, dude. No matter what you think, LeBron is bigger and taller and stronger than Jordan ever was. Yeah. Okay. That's different question.
I think Jake Paul,
he's going to get.
Yeah. And this is the worst decision because I guess here's the thing. Best case scenario, Jake Paul, he fights a legitimate fight and he loses, and no one will hold it against him. He lost to Mike Tyson. Yeah. Worst case scenario for him and everyone, he wins, and now everyone knows that this is all bullshit.
Right. And so either like even if he legitimately wins, there's no one on earth that will ever believe him. You know what I'm saying? Just because of the shifty stuff that's happened around him before. That being said, I am willing to pay a good amount of money to see it. So I think we should have a live podcast viewing party.
It's free.
Okay, then
it'll be. It's on Netflix. It'll be on Netflix.
I'm still gonna pay. I'm still gonna pay money. You're
just gonna burn the money.
I'm gonna say, hey, here's 120, just like the old days, boy.
Yeah. But all right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We hope to see you again next week. Until next time, I'm Bobby. He's Brandon. This has been the Pucks Out Podcast. See you next time.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Pucks Out Podcast. To see what other ridiculousness the guys are up to, check them out on Twitter and Instagram @PucksOutPod.